I'm here with Notre Dame trustee Cindy Parseghian. Cindy and her husband Mike met while they were students here at Notre Dame. They would go on, of course, to have successful careers in business and medicine, but their life's joy was their 4 children. When tragically, 3 of those children would be diagnosed with a fatal rare disease called Niemann-Pick type C. That's when Cindy and Mike's dad, Ara Parseghian, began their foundation and a search for a cure. First of all, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Talk a little bit about the story behind this and kind of what led to this.
Well, 3 of our 4 children were diagnosed with this rare disease that is cholesterol in nature. Children can't process cholesterol. And when we started the foundation, virtually nothing was known about this disease. There were 2 researchers in the country working on the disorder, and since then, we now have pretty much determined what's going on in the disease process and how that cholesterol is getting trapped in each of these cells. We have the number of researchers has increased exponentially. We started with 2. We had a recent meeting where we had 140. And so there's a lot of changes that have occurred, and the biggest changes were giving hope to families.
Absolutely, it's all about hope. Now, in 2016, the University of Notre Dame and the Ara Parseghian Medical Research Foundation, they merged then to find a treatment for NPC. So how has partnering with the university impacted the work that's really being done in this area and beyond?
Well, Notre Dame, which we all love, it has played a big role from the start. I have to be honest with that. But now, since we merged it, it's gone to another level, which is hard to believe. I got to give a shout out. The esteemed students right now are working over at the Idea Center, and they have been helping us with the Notre Dame Days.
Wow,
and I
heard
think
about this.
That Notre Dame Days is just an example of the support that we've had. And it's been pretty amazing. These same students, in about 3 weeks, are going to ride their bikes for 3 days from Michigan to Chicago and back here, and they've done this for 4 years. And so it's been really amazing to see the students and the faculty and the staff come forth to help us.
We really have some incredible students and faculty and staff. And I recently read that there's connections between Niemann-Pick type C and other diseases, I know, like Alzheimer's and Ebola. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The disease is sometimes referred to as childhood Alzheimer's. And when you say that, it's not that the disease process is identical, but the outcome is the same. You see this inflammation in the brain that's similar in both diseases, and the progression of the disease is similar. Children with NPC lose their ability to walk, to talk. Seizures are common, and most children die before adulthood from pneumonia, which is the same thing that happens in Alzheimer's. With Ebola, it's a fascinating story. Researchers have discovered that mice that are affected with Ebola can't get Niemann-Pick type C.
Wow.
The gene that's responsible for Niemann-Pick does not allow the Ebola virus to get into the cells. So now there's tons of research going on what's happening with that gene and how can they turn the gene off in an epidemic to control the virus for a short period of time.
That is fascinating.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, and you mentioned earlier hope. Let's talk a little bit about what gives you hope and other families hope.
Well, I think there are really 3 things that give families hope. And the first one is we now have 5 drugs that are working their way through trials. And that's a big step that's happened in the last 25 years. We now have, from 2 researchers, we had 140 researchers at our last meeting. So the numbers have grown just exponentially. And then the third reason I think that the families and the patients and the children have hope is because Notre Dame. Notre Dame has embraced this cause, and they're walking the journey with each and every patient and their families.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we really want to thank you for coming to campus and sharing your story. And we'll, of course, be following this story for years to come. And thank you so much. Now, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish family is behind you.
Thank you.